Today is January 19th, 2023. 1 year ago today, I was with my client at the Department of Disability, and a man came in and said she was drugged and told us to say it before. And they said someone needs to help her. Well, the Canton Police work security in there. And they all know me as an informant. So that set off this other investigation. And then they found the guy on February 2nd, 22 at Burlington Coat Factory by noon, admitting he personally drugged me and told me to say stuff. March, 13th to the 24th of 21/1/130, that they admitted to framing me outside. They admitted it was a shower scene and in another room, forgive me, May 26, 22 at KFC. And May 12th, 22 at noon at Bubba's restaurant, 6-8 men finding a tape of them emitting a shower scene in the other room. Then they went back and talked to Ed at the Oakland apartment, December 9, 21, 4 p.m. Someone had told him everything was drugged and photoshopped same day. The Stark County Hunger Task Force, 9th Street, white man, bald with dark eyes, distributing food, actually worked the case. They always knew the tapes before were them and not me, so they never said a word. And they talked to him, and then my one client on Chepler Church Road, the house before where the driveways bump in together, they told her that everything was drugged and photoshopped. No, those ones have already went to the Canton Police. My one client on Turquoise Street on June 7th, they told them not to say anything to me because they already knew that some kind of weird tapes before were them and not me, and they were looking for who actually did it. And then Eric confessed November 18, 22, 2 to 6 p.m. at Walmart 62 by the hair salon. He got high or drunk and came in and confessed. All the tapes before were me and not her. Ha ha ha. It was my idea to do it, my idea to say it, my idea to come up with it for all these people to turn on her, and ha ha ha, and they all fell for it. Ha ha. And the other guy mocking him too, and that how, Then November 24th, 22, Mercy Medical, the nurse that was taking care of me, there was a Canton police officer outside. It could have been her, another officer. We all heard that Eric make fun of us for falling for this. None of this is funny. And the officer replies back, well, the agent that bullied her into saying she was lying when she wasn't. I found out that those men actually ran experiments on her, and they need to realize how not funny this is. No one's actually said anything bad about her before. See, that's where I told you these people are nothing but sexual predators. They are 100%. Where my ex was trying to have me killed because he wanted this other girl. And then he got mad and hit me with a boar in the face. He went off to the store. He met the agent of the area and his family. And then 3 days later, they kick in my door to the wall and they start stalking me. And then all of a sudden, I'm waking up with bruises. I'm getting sick. And I'm almost passing out. And everybody thinks I'm working too hard. And I worked that hard before I left to move up there. And then I was afraid of, even with the well water, having bacteria in it, even though we didn't drink it, till we got the water treatment system. Just even washing my hands, I thought, well, maybe it's making me sick. But it's not making Dave sick. And I can't figure out where I'm waking up with all these bruises, and I'm almost passing out. I didn't know they were date rape drugging me. It's amnesia drugs. You never remember. You wouldn't want to wake up with bruises. You never want to take a drink and all of a sudden get dizzy and have to lay down. And then hours pass, and there's so-called date rape sodium pentothal reports. Those are sexual predating acts. Anybody breaks in your door, watches you on the toilet, watches you in the shower as sexual predators. Anybody that photoshops shower scenes into the other room is sexual predating. And then for them to date rape drug you, that is sexual predating. When they show it to them, where I called the FBI, that's why he grabbed it out of his area. That's why he bullied me into a false statement. Then opened up the informant case so that he could steal the money. And then made up this weird scenario. He tells someone, unless you're crazy, no one can help you. He can't. He was only bullying me to stay quiet. And they actually took him literally like he could do that. He can't do that. Some sitting judge had to actually sign that protective custody order. And failure to protect is abuse and misconduct. See what I mean? He can't even tell me he wouldn't help me. See what I mean? It's abuse. And he can't put a gag order on me. The only one who can put a gag order on me is a sitting judge during a court trial. Nobody else. He's just a higher officer. Federal Bureau of Investigators? Higher cops? That's it. It's not a judge. I've never been questioned of wrongdoing, never been prosecuted, never been found guilty. What part of this makes me a victim that they kicked in my door? They were watching me through my house, stalking me. What part of them watching me on the shower and on the toilet makes me a victim? All that. Them photoshopping shower scenes in the other room makes me a victim. Them breaking in, date rape, drugging me, and chemically kidnapping me. All this is sexual predating. And for that Michelle, that agent's daughter dating my husband, for her to participate in this, she's a sexual predator too. It's one thing if your husband cheats on you. But when the girlfriend wants to stalk you and her family, they want to date, rape, drug you. They want to human traffic you under drugs. They want to have you raped and tortured and then show videos of it to even small children. They are sexual predators and child molesters. Across from my clients on Turquoise Street yesterday, where those camp police had already told them that they knew the tapes before with them and not me and not to say anything, they were out there and said, we all know they raped her, which is wrong. And they said, them showing it to 5-year-old little girls is child molesting. Nobody should ever talk to him ever again. The mother said, don't you be saying anything, to where the police said that they already know there's large men here and people looking for him, and they all know that he stole from the case, over $300,000. All these people that showed up from out of state, the Henry Maffei, the Gentleman's Club from Florida, the Michigan guy, the people from New York, then the North Carolina and Georgia plates. The Georgia plate was a big African American man. He had shaved head and he had tattoos, and he had a light to medium gray truck. And he got out of his truck and to the North Carolina Georgia plate, got out and handed him a thing of cash like that big on the highway in front of me. They were drug dealers, like the one guy I had dinner with. You know how you know people that you know people know people. Well, he said, I know someone that actually deals drugs. He said, for those those people breaking in drugging you, they were drug dealers. He said, and for them to show their face, he had to owe them a lot of money, and for them to come help hurt you to make sure they got their money. He said, and how much money did they steal from your case? I said, $3,000. He said, well, that's where the sweet spot is. They said that anywhere from $100,000 to $300,000 is a drug shipment. I didn't tell him that they sold the login to the case, and they made millions. Those low-life drug dealers showed up in 5, 7-year-old cars, maybe older, Fords, all kinds of different older cars, Toyotas. A lot of them had faded paint, and they left in $80,000 trucks. And they had Hummers. They had race cars, Vats. They left in that kind of stuff, and they had it within a few months. They sold the case like a reality show. And people laugh at me for being a drug dealer's victim. That agent out of the area. See, I lived in Portage County. I called the hotline around September 23rd, 2018. I called the hotline. We'll have an agent call you back because I had all that shit on him. And police reports backing it. Okay? So they're supposed to have me call back. I Googled who's over Portage County. It's Akron. Do you know who called me back? The FBI task force in the courthouse of Canton. They weren't even over in my area. It wasn't even in their jurisdiction. He had no right touching my case, neither anybody in his office, because it comes down to conflict of interest. It's 1 to 10 years. And they all know that where I try to report what happened at Huntington Bank. You liar, you confess you're lying, or I'll put you in jail. I'm like, what? And I'm crying my eyes out. He's like, you either say it or I'll come up and arrest you, and bullies me into this false statement. The normal me, not being drugged up, would have hung up on him. Absolutely hung up on him, called the hotline and reported him. It's badgering, Department of Justice 1729. No coerced confession is admissible. And for him to do that, he goes to jail and loses his badge. And then scream at me to say it until, you know, I said what he wanted to laugh. And then, do you know if he has a girlfriend? Make me plead for my life. Why would that be? I hope you, a person like you, well, they're going to kill me. So makes me plead for my life. The normal me would have told him off and hung up. But the drugged up Karen pleaded for her life. And then, he was going to list me informant anyways because he wanted that money. I'll list you informant, $5,000 a month. I'll move you out. I'll pull you out if it gets too bad. You got money to move out. Da 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 da. The diplomatic immunity, everything that goes with the witness protection program. But you tell someone else you're crazy and no one can help you. Failure to protect is abuse and misconduct, and a sitting judge had to sign that court order for the protective custody case. What's in it? My money, my housing and living expenses, and my diplomatic immunity in the format program. That's it. All that other shit is crazy. And it was just him bullying me into staying quiet. And people took him literally that he could do it. People have said that he's laughing, that he's got away with this so far. And no one stopped him. And he's got away with all these crimes. I bet he is laughing. Do you realize how much of a sexual predator he is? My ex-husband hits me with a bar in the face. He runs off to the store. He asks him, this guy's in debt to drug dealers, okay? And he offers them money to kill me. They take it because they're in debt. They kick in my door. They start date rape, drugging me, stalking me, photoshopping scenes, sexually predating me. And I don't know what's wrong with me, and I can't figure out why I'm sick. And everybody knows I'm almost passing out and everything, and they thought I was bruising too easy. They thought I was working too hard, and nothing made sense. Because I wasn't like that before I moved up there. Okay? Got it? Yeah. Do you realize for his daughter to admit to watching me on the toilet, she's a sexual predator? For her to brag she had me raped in a Faith Family Church, and she dated Dave, and her dad was a FBI agent working the case. Do you realize she's a sexual predator? He's had to molest his own kids for them to think anything of this is all right. If my dad, if he was still alive, if I was a child and I found out he kicked in some woman's door, oh, even a grown adult, because she's a grown adult, found out he kicked in some woman's door and he was watching her, stalking her through button cameras, I'd tell the police. If I found out he was breaking in, date rape, drugging her, I would tell the police, wouldn't you? Would you help out in that? No, it's not normal. They have been trained to think it's normal and it's acceptable. That's why I'm saying, I bet for his kids to help out in this, he's already had to molest them. See the difference? I watched this video. What's the difference between sociopath, psychopath, and narcissist? Okay? Psychopaths are born with part of their brain doesn't function right. It actually don't function at all. They're the born killers. They can feel happy, joy, and excitement. And it doesn't light up on a scan the part that feels fear, remorse, or empathy, or sympathy. They can't feel sorry for you, but they get excited and high. So they kill people. They feel good about it. They don't care. Okay? Sociopaths are made by their environment killers. That they're taught and trained that it's all right. See the difference? He's had to molest his own children for his children to find this all right and didn't turn him in. Now, these people that have helped out in this, are they child molesters too and they're some kind of little weird groupies? Or are they their drug clients? Because why would you participate in this when other people call them reprobate bastards? You do realize with them stealing straight from the federal government $300,000 from my case alone, because I was supposed to get $5,000 a month, living expenses, housing expenses, and a medical card. I got nothing but police surveillance at home. And that's where those officers admit to watching Karen around the house or Karen's will. And that's where those people, we were sold a login. Okay? And made millions off of a police protective custody case. And they need to get a hold of whatever he's touched, because if there's anybody else in a witness protection program, he could have sold them to the bad guys for money. This man is dangerous. He is a sexual predator, and he is a child molester. For them taking small 5-year-old, do you know my little kids' faces came up to me? Will made it up to me today. Will took me out today. It's sick they raped her. Even my client that had anger issues, Karen, this is crazy. They admit to drugging you and telling you to say it before, and they admit to raping you in front of people in stores. I'm like, stay out of it, I'll tell the police. Little children, even in front of him. Why would you show a child a rape? As little as 5 years old. They don't understand sex. They don't understand violence. You send them off to kindergarten, you hope they don't have an accident. They're fairly potty trained toddlers. Huh? So why would they don't even understand sex? It's actually illegal and a federal crime to show violent sex acts or sex acts to under, 10 or 12? Yeah. It's a federal crime. It's a form of child molesting. Why was he showing it to him? To excite himself? Emotionally molest him? He's into date rape, drugging, amnesia drug. Did he turn around and rape them then? And they don't know? Because all they thought was they took a nap? Huh? See, these people are playing with pure demons of hell, and they need to realize how not funny this is, and how not funny it is, on levels of Satanism. See, they had all these low-life drug dealers, they owed money, come in here and help run this big scam and hurt me, because he owed them money. Then take up enough drug shipment. People have said the mafia is mad, and I thought, why would they even care? Because then it comes drug territory. They pulled it on their turf and got enough money for drug shipments. See, the big bad people that do the drug shipments, no offense, mafia. Yeah, no offense. But they order it, and then they filter it through these little drug dealers. Okay? And then it gets to whatever. And it filters down to all these different drug dealers. And I'll tell you what, none of this is funny. They filter down to drug dealers. I want you to think about that. So you took up a big bunch of money for your own drug shipment and paid off your own drug deals. That's how not funny this is. And if they're mad at you, they're mad at you. That's all there is to it. I have nothing to do with it, nor would I condone anybody doing anything wrong to anybody. But people come up and say it, but people say a lot of stuff to me, and I don't believe half of it. But there is large men that showed up here. A lot of large men. And I don't know them. Okay? And they better hope it's just the feds.